Hello, viewers. It's Tim Metro from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast of myself called The Boruto Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to breach your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language. If you're under 19, now if you're over 18, that means you're good to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this everything out the way, let's get into the latest episode of Boruto. So basically, it's going to be short. So basically, we see Naruto in his office at the Hokage office. Looking at a trailer at this new Kage Master for the new Kage Master movie or some shit like that. So basically, Shikamaru was there, and Konohamaru came in. So basically, it turns out that Naruto is supposed to be a star in the movie. It's the star in the new Kage Master movie and whatnot. So basically, showing off, apparently the director and producer wanted him to be in the movie and do the Rasengan, for the new Kage Master movie team up shit, whatever. So basically, Naruto is supposed to start the movie, but he has a dilemma. So it turns out that he won a raffle for a free, one of those free hotspot trips. So basically, him and his daughter won a raffle for a free hotspot vacation. So basically, the only way he can do the movie, is if he takes his day off and do the movie. But since he won the trip, the only time he can take the trip is on his day off. So basically, not just supporting his daughter who helped won that vacation, he don't know what to do. So basically, since Konohamaru is the only one who could do the Rasengan, who could do the Rasengan and about Naruto's height and whatnot, and basically he can transform into Naruto. So basically, Naruto was like, oh, I can, you take over my lead, you just play me, blah blah blah. So basically, Konohamaru was happy that he's going to be in the movie and whatnot. So basically, he put out this this jagged non-shot kunai out of his waist, out of his two patch on his on his leg and whatnot. So anyway, Shikamaru was like, maybe you should sharpen that kunai, in case you really have to use it. So anyway, basically, the next Konohamaru went to the studio, a big studio inside and out. So basically, he was introduced to the director, the makeup lady, etc., the sound guy, the camera guy, the director, and the editor. So basically, the spring, they just gave him the script. They was happy. Even the Kage Master, the actor who played Kage Master was there as well. So basically, he seemed like he was having some back problems. So basically, everything in the studio was like it was being shot on green screen and whatnot. So anyway, So basically, Konohamaru put on, the Zatsuki clothes that Naruto wears as a Kage, and he was wondering, do I have to use my disguise jutsu to transform? And the makeup artist said, no, not really. She just put Naruto's whiskers, use a marker to put Naruto's whiskers, 6 foot, how Naruto has whiskers, had the whiskers on his face and whatnot, just use a marker and whatnot. And he said, don't worry, we're just going to keep this on the green screen. Don't worry, you don't need to use any type of juice at all. So basically, So basically, most of the time, what's been shot in the studio on green screen. So basically, after the shoot was done, the editor dude was like, use CGI, some green screen editing and shit, and basically made Carl in the final basically in the scene that they finished recording, the editors tested out, used some CGI, do some green screen technology and shit, blah blah blah, and basically made Cole Hammer look and sound like Naruto. So basically, the editor was like, this never used to be. The director had been directing all the Kage, the director and the producer had been together since the first Kage Master movie. So basically, the director and the producer were seem to be losing touch. Nowadays, we don't really go outside the film. We don't really go outside the film. Most of all the Kage movies since the first one are being filmed in the studio directly and now, and I just been editing, so CGI and whatnot, using CGI subject to practical effects. So basically, the editor was he seemed like he's been there for a while. I miss those days. That when we film outside and whatnot. So basically, Cole Hammer has a plan that, with the editor to get the director to film outside. So basically, the next day when the director couldn't get into the studio, it turned out the editor, secretly took the key to the studio and whatnot and locked them out. So basically, Cole Hammer's plan and the editor's plan came together and they filmed outside. So basically, basically with some help from Cole Hammer, they managed to create an area of the Henry Studios for them to film to film a good action scene and whatnot. So basically, everything was good. The director was happy. This is good to be out of the studio. We're not, we don't always need green screen and CGI and whatnot. So basically, Cole Hammer with some better makeup before the makeup lady, she just, made Cole Hammer's, hair look orange and whatnot, and basically, gave him some better richer face, on his face like Naruto. So basically, everything was good, but the producer of the movie was not happy that they went outside instead of filming. They went outside filming the movie instead of using the studio instead of using the studio inside. So basically, the director was trying to convince the producer, we filming good stuff. But the producer was what? Some hands would, the director got pissed off when the producer slapped the camera out of his hand and basically, laid some hands on him, just grabbing him and shit, and basically, told the producer told the director he's fired, and so it's screw or not. So basically, so basically, the whole camera crew got fired and whatnot, and Cole Hammer felt like, oh, fuck, he messed up big time. So basically, they went out drinking and whatnot. So basically, the director's like, I have no regrets. You did a good thing, Cole Hammer. I believe the producer has lost touch. Before he became a big producer with the Kage, he didn't have, just like me. I was not a famous director at first until I started doing these Kage Master movies and whatnot. So basically, saying with the producer, but I always fulfilled a good job and whatnot. So basically, Cole Hammer took the whole crew out. Except for the actor who played Kage Master, he went home, to rest his back because he had some backaches and whatnot. So anyway, the next day, turns out that back in the next day, the editor of the movie went on the news live, was being held hostage outside a building by some bandits and whatnot. So basically, Cole watching the whole thing went to go say the editor, from being hostage and whatnot, took out two out of the three guys, who's outside holding the editor dude hostage. So basically, the director and the cameraman was walking by and took the news camera and decided to, this will make some good footage and whatnot, and just took the news people's camera and basically started to film their own footage of the whole robbery going down. Now, so basically Koharu was like telling him that, you don't need to hold this guy hostage, where's your mama and your dad will think about this. Basically turns out that, the hostage taker, he said those two people you knocked out of my gang, that is my mama and my father. You just knocked out, and Carl was like, oh shit, I did not know that. So basically, things were not going very well, and that's when the actor who played Kage Master showed up and gave Koharu the opportunity to help the editor be set free. But it turns out that the hostage taker had a paper bomb. So basically, thanks to the actor who played Kage Master, Carl was able to say the editing do and tried to use the kunais to cut the paper bomb that he had. But since he used the kunai, he used that unshot kunai, and the paper bomb was not able to cut the paper bomb. So basically, the paper bomb was started to go off, and basically, and the Kage Master gave Koharu some words of advice to what to do, and basically realized that, what type of Hokage I want to be. So basically, he having a flash image of Naruto and his grandpa, the third Hokage. Basically the fourth, so basically, and his grandfather, and basically he managed to throw the paper right in the air and hit it with the Zenga and diverted the explosion from taking out the building and everybody who was nearby. So basically, after this whole situation, the producer saw the footage that the director showed of the whole hostage situation, and basically hired back the whole crew and whatnot, and basically the producer learned something name. I was too hasty about firing you guys, maybe, this was some good stuff that you guys film and blah, blah, blah. So basically, the movie went on. So basically, they finished filming the movie, and Koharu shopping that kunai, back to his shop point, and basically shopping that kunai at his house, and basically the movie came out, and basically was how the episode ended. So with Koharu had, basically watching, shopping his kunai and watching the movie premiere of the latest Kage Master movie, and basically, this is how the episode ended. So anyway, this was a good, this was not. So basically, this was a good episode. Also, it had a good message about how Hollywood, And sometimes that Hollywood too might rely on too much on special effects like CGI and stuff like that. So basically, it was a pretty good episode, and both still a good message about sometimes that Hollywood does rely on special effects and stuff like that. They do film. They don't really much film on locations no more and whatnot, etc., etc. But it was a good episode. So anyway. What do you guys think about this episode? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, sign off. One.